Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the stream over here on YouTube. It's kind of exciting that I'm doing this for the first time over here on YouTube. I decided that I was going to try and do a little bit more on my YouTube channel, and so that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm going to do a booster box opening today of Magic: The Gathering Universes Beyond: The Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth. So hopefully you'll enjoy this. I've got the box here on my brand new playmat, as you can see. Love it. So yeah, we're going to do this. Sealed, still hasn't been opened yet. This is going to be a lot of fun. I played pre-release yesterday, and my deck was awesome. Loved it. Went 3-0 with it. The other thing, did 2 other pre-releases on Friday, and unfortunately it doesn't look like I'll be able to do a pre-release today, which is why I decided to do a streaming box opening. Again, I just kind of want to see what, my YouTube stuff looks like, see how hard it is to stream on YouTube, that sort of thing. So we've got in the top here this box topper, which we will open up last. I'm going to pull out all these. So I don't have my card scanner going today, mainly because I just decided to do this kind of on a whim. So I don't have it to where I'll be able to. I'll pull the cards up top so where you can see it a little better. But we're gonna open this and we're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna talk Lord of the Rings, in particular this set and kind of some play. So one of my favorite tokens of the set is the Ballistic Boulder. So we're gonna roll it from there. We got a common. Tormented Golem actually did a lot of work here for us. Oh, that shouldn't be a... Okay, well that doesn't have any sound to it, so whatever. So these are draft packs. Brash Instigator. Golem's Bite. Never saw this one, but it's a very good card. Fear Fire Foes. And then our rare, Aragorn the Uniter. It's our first mythic of the pack. Aragorn the Uniter. For everything but black, it's a 5/5. Whenever you cast a white spell, you create a 1/1 white human creature token. Blue spell, Scry 2. Red spell, 3 damage to a target opponent. And green spell, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. This is a bomb. This is an amazing mythic. And then we got a foil here. Easterling Vanguard. That's a common. And then a regular thing. And then, of course, our Ballistic Boulder. All right, so that's a huge hit to start off with. Would love to get to play with that. Oh, we got another Ballistic Boulder? Yes, please. All right, so commons. I'm just going to flip through them pretty quickly here. Set lands aside. Oh, 2 lands in that pack. All right. The Mouth of Sauron is actually quite good. Yeah, the Mouth of Sauron enters the battlefield. Target player mills 3 cards. Then amass Orcs X, where X is the number of instant sorcerers in that player's graveyard. It's about half and half as to when I milled myself and when I milled my opponents with that. Theoden, King of Rohan. Voracious Fellbeast. This is kind of a good card here too. And our rare, Moria Marauder. Red for a 1/1 double strike when a goblin or orc you control deals combat damage to a player. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Interesting. And then a swamp, and of course our bowl. Interesting rare. That kind of wants you to play goblins and orcs. So that seems pretty interesting. All right. Oh, right off the bat here, Knights of Dol Amroth. This is one of the scene cards. So you can see it's full art, even though it is a common. And that is pretty awesome. I'm going to set that aside. Yeah, any of the scene cards, love to finish a scene, but I haven't finished any of the scenes yet with the stuff. All right, first uncommon, Aramir of the Rider Mark. We've got Gift of Strands. We've got the Bath Song, which this card is really annoying to play against. Draw 2 cards and discard a card in the first 2 chapters, and then on the third one, shuffle any number of target cards from your graveyard into your library and add 2 blue mana. The card's actually quite good. It's pretty good because you can basically shuffle your graveyard back into your library. So, and then we've got ourselves a Boromir, Warden of the Tower, 2 and a white for a 3/3, Vigilance. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter it, that spell. Sacrifice Boromir, Warden of the Tower. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. The ring tempts you. Also in the alternate art frame with the ring thing. That is pretty awesome. And then we got our first of the map lands. That's sweet. That's a sweet basic. I'll keep those. Because I need more basic lands. Especially full art basic lands, since there's been a lot of those. Alright. It was very hit or miss with me for the pre-release this weekend. Again, yesterday I did a pre-release and I played actually a 60 card deck and ended up going 3-0 with it. I had an all spells deck on Friday night, and that was actually a fun deck, but unfortunately I ran into some other really pesky cards. So Arwen Arundel, Stone of Eric, and quite frankly, this card is, I think, is going to see some play. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. So that's a replacement effect. And then being able to sacrifice it to draw a card and exile player's graveyard. I feel like that's a really good card. It's like a Relic of Progenitus, but it does a little bit more for me. Frodo Baggins. And our rare is Legolas, Master Archer. So 1 green for a 1/4. Whenever a spell that targets it, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Oh, it has reach. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you don't control, Legolas deals damage equal to its power up to 1 target creature. It can be a very powerful effect. And basic and that. Mirkwood Bats. Let's talk about this one a little bit. How is this a common? It's a flying 2/3 for 4 mana. It's a bat. Whenever you create or sacrifice a token, doesn't matter if it's a creature token or not, each opponent loses 1 life. This card's fantastic. All right, first of the uncommons. Eowyn, Lady of Rohan. Glorfindel, Dauntless Rescuer. A Faramir, Field Commander. In the alternate art frame. Really kind of cool. I like that frame a lot. Eowyn, Fearless Knight. So 2, a red and a white for a 3/4 human knight with haste. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls with greater power. Legendary creatures you control get protection from each of that creature's colors until end of turn. Ooh. And then a basic and a treasure token. Oh, I should put this out here too. Okay. Try not to show off any cards ahead of time, so, you know, slow roll things. Alright, first one, Strider, Ranger of the North. For the uncommons, I should say. Elrond, Lord of Rivendell. Very good card. Gollum, Patient Plotter. This is another one of the alternate art frames. Nice. And then our rare is Fall of Caer Andros. So it's an enchantment for 2 and a red. Whenever a creature an opponent controls is dealt excess non-combat damage, amass Orcs X, where X is the excess damage. And Fall of Caer Andros deals 7 damage to target creature for 8 mana. That seems pretty decent. That seems like a commander card. We got a foil Sauron's Trickery, which is just a better cancel. And then we got a Plains. And we've got the ring. We opened the ring, folks. The ring's a token. What I like about this ring token, and I've got a bunch of these, but what I like about this is because you have to notify which of your creatures is a ring bearer. It has little perforations on it, so you can actually break off the top of it. And this sits on the card to show that it is the ring bearer. So I feel like that's pretty awesome. Really good design. All right. Oh, we got an Arsene card here. Lash of the Balrog. All right, first uncommon. Wow, this is actually kind of rare in this set. It's not a legendary. Dúnedain Rangers. All right. Gorbag of Minas Morgul. The Grey Havens, a land. And our rare, Smeagol, Helpful Guide. I did get to play with this. This card was fantastic, actually. It steals a land from your opponents whenever the ring tempts you. That's just fantastic, actually. So that card's a good card. And then we got an island and an Orc Army. All right. How has your weekend gone? Have you been playing in pre-release? If so, leave a comment in there and I'll check it today for sure. Love to hear about your experiences at pre-releases. Bill the Pony, a legendary horse. One of the best in this set. Oh my god, Melindor, Swift Savior. Okay, so this card was great. Being able to hit your opponents and flicker something is so good because there's a bunch of enter the battlefield triggers, and that does great things. Friendly Rivalry, and then we've got King of the Oathbreakers. So this is a 4-mana 3/3 flyer that basically says your opponents can't target it. If they do, it flickers and then it makes some spirits eventually. That's a very good card. We got a foil Birthday Escape. This card's really fun. And we've got an island. I love these map lands. And our Orc Army. We're also looking for Nazgul. Because I need 9 of those, and I would like the different arts. I have 2 currently. All right. Book of Marzabal. Old Man Willow. This is kind of an interesting one. It's equal to its power. Its power and toughness is equal to the number of land you control. And you can sacrifice another creature a token. When you do, you can give... This card's a house, actually. If you have any token generation. Speaking of, Rosie Cotton of South Lane. Creates a food, and whenever you create a token... The nice token generation thing. Galadriel of Lothlorien. Whenever the ring tempts you, if you choose a creature other than Galadriel as your ring bearer, scry 3. Whenever you scry, you may reveal the top card of your library. If a land card is revealed this way, put it in the battlefield tab. This is actually very good. This I need to consider putting in my another map land. Love it. I need to consider putting that in my Techovah deck. But I need to add more Ring Tempts Me type cards to that. For that to be any good. Or Scry. Oh, we got Nasty End. That's a scene card. Sauron's Trickery. We just saw this in foil. Counterspell, Massworks 1. So what if cancel was a little better? We got a Butterbur, Bree Innkeeper. This just lets you create food tokens if you don't have any food tokens, which is really good. Lost to Legend. This is a great little tuck effect that targets a historic permanent. And then we've got Display of Power. This spell can't be copied. Interesting. Copy any number of target instants and or sorcery cards. You may choose new targets for the copies. So I wonder if you storm out and then you cast this after you storm out, do you get to make it double it basically? I think that's the way it works. Land and the ring. I don't know. I'm not a judge, and for that reason, I say go ask a Magic the Gathering judge because I don't know. All right. Oh, we got another scene. Oliphant. Another scene card. All right. There are no Planeswalkers in this set. So if you do not like Planeswalkers for whatever reason, this is a set for you. This is free of Planeswalkers. Mirror of Galadriel. Interesting card, not really worth it. Oh, another one. Foray of Orcs. That's a scene card. Grond the Gatebreaker. I hadn't gotten this card yet, so that's kind of cool. It's a vehicle. And our rare. Oh, this is a card I want, but I want it in foil. Gandalf the Grey. Depicting the scene from the bridge. Yeah, that's an awesome open. And then food. Morgul Knife Wound is a pretty good card. It does a lot of work for 2 mana. -3/-0, and at the beginning of upkeep, that you have to exile that creature unless you pay 2 life. So a lot of times it's just a removal spell. All right, first unrare, Intish Restoration. Oh, okay. So for Harrow, this is basically a better Harrow, if you can get there. If you have a creature of power of 4 or greater on the battlefield. Great card. Fiery Inscription. Speaking of another card, I don't know what I would take between those two so far. Fiery Inscription. Enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. I had 2 of those in my all spells deck, basically. Barrow Blade. I don't think I like that one that much. And then a Boromir, Warden of the Tower. This is a nice one for death and taxes. And then we got a foil Smeagol, Hopeful Guide. So that's our first foil. Rare. Not our first foil. All right, so that's a third of the pack, third of the box done. Ah! All right, first uncommon, Shadow Summoning. Shadow Summoning. The fact that they come in tapped is not great. You cannot pass. Destroy target creature that blocked or was blocked by a legendary creature this turn. Nice. Very flavorful there. Bitter Downfall. And then our rare. Oh, this card. Let's talk about this. Call of the Ring. So it's an enchantment for 1 and a black. At the beginning of your upkeep, the ring tempts you. Whenever you choose a creature as a ring bearer, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. This is a house. This is hard to get rid of in this set too, because there's not a lot of enchantment removal. So this is going to tempt you pretty much every turn. You get to draw an extra card every turn. Yeah, that's pretty good. Then we got a foil. Ooh, we got another foil rare. That's Legolas, Master Archer. That's our second foil rare. And remember, at the end, we've got the box topper to open. And I'll do one of the last few packs as kind of a... I'll do the last 3 as draft. I would draft it. Do like I would draft. We'll do that. Okay. Grishna, Brash Instigator. We got a Quip Beam, Upstart Int, and a scene card. We've got Tale of Tunviel. By the way, there is a very good chance I am butchering the fuck out of these names. So, oh, okay. We've got our second mythic here, Palantir of Ornthanc. This card is very interesting. Let me go through it here first. It's 3 mana for a legendary artifact. At the beginning of your end step, put an influence counter on it. And scry 2. Then, target opponent may have you draw a card. If that player doesn't, you mill X cards, where X is the number of influence counters on Palantir of Ornthanc, and that player loses life equal to the total mana value of these cards. It's a side game, basically. I'm going to put this into several of my commander decks I want to say, because it seems like it could be really, really good. All right. All right. Bill Fernie, Bree Swindler. Wait, really? Shadowfax, Lord of Horses is in the same pack. So if you took both of these, then you could give away your horse to get 3 treasure tokens. Also, I love that Shadowfax is horses you control have haste, and it literally tells you what haste is. Because Shadowfax show me the meaning of haste. Horses of the Brianon. And then our rare is Lobelia Sackville Baggins. Flash minus 2/3 for 2 and a black. It has menace. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature card from an opponent's graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. Then create X treasure tokens where X is the exiled card's power. This card gets very good. And yeah. All right. All right, Rise of the Witch King. Oath of the Grey Host. Gothmog, Morgul Lieutenant. A rare is Faramir, Prince of Ithilien. At the beginning of your end step, choose an opponent. At the beginning of that player's next end step, you draw a card if they didn't attack you that turn. Otherwise, create 3 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens. This card's fantastic. And a food. And this food is pretty awesome, actually. By the way, big, huge shout out to my camera for the autofocus. It is working wonderfully today. Oh, here we go. Mirkwood Bats in a scene card. All right, first one, Goblin Fire Leaper. Peregrine Took. Here's a Legolas counter of kills in the ring thing. Mythic Mount Doom. I actually had this in my pre-release yesterday. And I was able to board wipe basically everything with the Mount Doom. Hobbit Sting is our foil. And we've got a Swamp. A human soldier. All right, last one. Bilbo, Retired Burglar. Celeborn the Wise. Rising of the Day. That's an interesting enchantment there. And Shalab, Child of Ungoliant. For some reason, a spider that doesn't have reach. Don't understand. And we got a spirit. We needed that spirit token. All right. All right. Stew the Conies. Long List of the Ents. I love this card. This card is a 1 mana card that has 6 chapters to it. The Long List of the Ents. Oh, Gandalf, Friend of the Shire. This is the original art that was spoiled for the set. It's actually a very good card. I like Gandalf, Friend of the Shire, a lot. Then we've got Frodo, Sauron's Bane. This is actually kind of fun. That's a good card. And then a Forced. Another Orc Army. We're about halfway through the box. I'm making decent time with this. I'm going about it a little slower, but you know, that's because I'm slow rolling it, because I could just, but I'm also wanting to, you know, show off some of the cards and talk about it. I'm actually going to go back to Generous Ent here. Generous Ent is one of a cycle of cards that's actually really good in this set. I might keep flipping over cards and commons. It has the cycling, the land type cycling, which I like a lot. And it also does thing as a 6-drop too. Like 6-drop, 5/7 reach creature is also quite good. And it enters the battlefield and you get a food. So I feel like that's a pretty good card. So you get the Mouth of Sauron. We saw one of those. Oh, here we go. Another scene card. Sheriff. Not Sheriff. Ooh, that's our first Nazgul. Is that an art I have? So I'll pull out the arts I have. It's an art I have of the Nazguls already. All right, well, I've got a trade fodder now, because I do want to get all 9 different arts. Ooh. Okay, this is also a scene card. It is also a mythic. This is Spiteful Banditry. And this is basically, if you remember back in standard with Meat Hook Massacre. This is very similar to Meat Hook Massacre. It deals damage instead of giving -X, -X, or destroying creatures, basically. But giving you the treasure token is quite good. That's a good mythic. And we get a foil. It's a Theoden, King of Rohan. And a Swamp, which shows Mordor. So that was a good, and that's also a scene card, the Spiteful Banditry. So that's our 4th mythic. We're doing pretty good on mythics so far. All right. Gwalhir the Windlord. Reprieve. This is Remand, but in white. Great card. Stern Scolding. This is another card that's getting a lot of talk here. Counter target spell with power or toughness. Creature spell with power or toughness 2 or less. That's talking a lot of things here. And then War of the Last Alliance. I haven't seen this card yet. 3 and a white. Search your library for a legendary creature card revealed. Put it into your hand, then shuffle twice. And then creatures you control gain double strike until end of turn. The ring tempts you. That's probably why I haven't seen it. It's a tutor. And tutors aren't that great and limited. It's also a very slow card. But I like sagas. And sealed, they seem fine because it is a slow format. But for the most part, oh, we got a scene card for the first card. Many Partings. Another Morgul Knife Wound. All right. Eomer of the Riddle Mark. We've seen one of those already. Samwise, the Stout-Hearted. And the Ring. Didn't we get one of those? No, we got Faramir. Prince Imrahil the Fair. This is great in a draw card deck. And, oh, that's a hit. That's a hit, folks. Orcish Bowmasters. Oh, come on. Please, please. Focus. You're not focusing. Orcish Bowmasters. This is a $20 card. This is a huge hit. Now, will it come down in price? Probably. All right. Shortcut to mushrooms. That's interesting. Ent Draw Basin. I was watching the Two Towers last night and saw that. All right. Ring Sight. And then we've got Shagrat, Loot Bearer. Interesting rare. We got a foil. Pippin's Bravery. All right, we're about 2/3 of the way through this box. I love the Mordor Trebuchet. Or as Cameron from Loading Ready Run says it, Trebucket. Yeah, it just does work. All right. Lorith of the Healing House. Gimli, Counter of Kills. Grima, Wormtongue. One Ring to Rule Them All. All right. Last third of the box. What I like about this set is I don't feel like it was like a Modern Horizon set. Nothing seems like super overpowered for Modern. There's a few things in there, but most of it doesn't feel like it's going to be that way. Denethor, Ruling Steward. Marhur, Uruk-hai Captain. March from the Blackgate. And our rare, Horn of the Mark. But nothing like seems like super overpowered in the set that's going to break Modern. Which is good. Because Modern Horizons really just kind of changed Modern completely to where most of the Modern cards don't matter anymore. Gift of Strands. Council's Deliberation. Golem's Bite. And Samwise Gamgee. I love the artwork on Samwise here. It's also a pretty good card. Ooh, we got another scene card. All right, first uncommon. Gandalf Sanction. Stone of Eric. We talked about that one a little bit already. Ugluk of the White Hand. And our rare, Goldberry River Daughter. Love the art of this one. It's a nymph. 1 and a blue for 1/3. Legendary creature nymph. Tap it to move a counter of it, each kind not on Goldberry from another target permanent equal onto Goldberry. And for blue and tap, move 1 or more counters from Goldberry onto another target permanent you control. If you do, draw a card. I don't think it's a very powerful card at all. There could definitely be some things that mess with it. Foil Butterbur, Bree, and Keeper. I don't think it's a very powerful card. The fact it doesn't have haste means that it's super slow. You gotta wait a turn before you can do anything like that. So, all right. Okay, Landrival, Horizon Witness. Rangers Firebrand. This is actually a pretty decent little card. A shock that the ring tempts you with, so that can be pretty good. Meriadoc Brandybuck. And a rare. Elrond, Master of Healing in the alt-art frame. 2 green and a blue for a 4/4, which is already great. Whenever you scry, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to X target creatures, where X is the number of cards looked at while scrying this way. Whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it becomes a target of a spell or ability opponent controls, you may draw a card. That seems very good in like Commander. I don't think it's good in other formats, but in Limited, it's also very good. Because you can literally just draft a blue-green deck that does a bunch of scrying, so in this format. All right. All right, Sauron, the White. Elrond, Lord of Rivendell in the alt art. We'll take that. Grond, the Gatebreaker. And Dawn of a New Age. This seems like a really good card, actually. 1 in a white, Dawn of a New Age. Enters the battlefield with a hope counter on it for each creature you control. At the beginning of your end step, remove a hope counter from Dawn of a New Age. If you do, draw a card. Then, if Dawn of a New Age has no hope counters on it, sacrifice it and you gain 4 life. That seems really good. That's also a mythic. And we got a foil rare. It's the Moria Marauder. Nice. All around nice pack. I would definitely have drafted the Dawn of a New Age. That seems really good. Especially if you got something that creates a bunch of like tokens. Or most limited decks play a lot of creatures, so like it's gonna do some work. I can see a scenario where it would draw you no cards and just sack and gain you 4 life. Wherein that's not that good. But most times you're gonna be able to play it and draw an extra card. I just put that in the wrong pile. All right. Erkenbrand, Lord of Westfold. Fear, Fire Foes. Theoden, King of Rohan. And Minas Tirith, our first land. Yeah, Minas Tirith seems really good. And a forest. And this set will be on Arena. At the end here, at the end of this stream, I will have a couple of codes for people if they want to get onto Arena and get it. Oh, here's Pippin's Bravery in a full art. Goblin Fire Leaper. Arwen Umdemil. Arwen. Just call it Arwen. Gorbag of Minas Morgul. And a rare Horn of Gondor. Okay. Let me talk about this one. And limited. This card is bonkers. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human creature, human soldier token. And then for 3 and tap, create X 1/1 white human soldier tokens, where X is the number of humans you control. There's a lot of humans in this set. And this card just goes off, and it's hard to stop it without a board wipe. All right, so we got about 5 packs left. We still haven't opened the One Ring yet. We're not going to open the one that everyone wants to open, the $2 million in a trip to Spain, the one. But I would like to open one of the... just a regular one would be fine. All right, you cannot pass. Faramir, Field Commander. The Bath Song, we talked about that already. Lost Isle Calling. It's an enchantment whenever you scry, put a verse count. Oh, this lets you take the extra turns. And we got a foil East Farthing Farmer. All right, last 3 packs. After this is the 4th to last pack. Last 3 packs, we will act like we're drafting. So we'll look at each pick individually. Because I also have not drafted this set, so this will be interesting. Mirror of Galadriel. Friendly Rivalry. A Voracious Fell Beast in the full art style for the that. Scroll of Isildur. Gain control of up to... Okay. 2 and a blue for gain control of up to 1 target artifact for as long as you control it. The ring tempts you. Tap up to 2 target creatures. Put a stun counter on each of them. Draw a card for each tapped creature target opponent controls. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Let's clean this up so I can lay out the entire draft. Set tokens aside, off screen. Set basics off screen. Set these. All right. And this can go off screen. All right. We're going to act like we were drafting this one. All right. So, first up is Sam's Desperate Rescue. Black for return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. The ring tempts you. This is a very good card, especially in sacrifice type decks and stuff like that. Mushroom Watchdogs. 1 and a green for a 2/2. Sacrifice a food. Put a 1/1 counter on Mushroom Watchdogs. It gains vigilance until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. That can be good in the food decks. Oliphant. This is 5 and a red for a 6/4 elephant. It has trample. Whenever it attacks, another target creature control gets +2/+0 and gains trample to end of turn. Very strong. But it also has, for 1 mana, Mountain Cycling. I like this card a lot. Right now, if I was going to have to take anything, it would probably be that first. Urkhai Berserker, 2 and a black for a Orc Berserker. It's a 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you. If you really need some ring tempts you cards, that's not a bad card to have. Otherwise, I'm still taking the Oliphant here. Greyhaven's Navigator, 2 and a blue for an elf pilot. It's a 3/2 with flash. When Greyhaven's Navigator enters the battlefield, scry 1. So in the elf deck, the blue-green deck, this is a pretty decent card at 3 mana. It lets you scry 1, so it's that, and it's an instant speed scry. So that can be pretty good. All right, next card. Haunt of the Dead Marshes. Black for a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, scry 1. It's Nightmare Elf. And for 2 and a black, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. Tapped, activate only if you control a legendary creature. This is a great card in the sacrifice deck. That being said, I'm probably still on the Oliphant or Greyhaven's Navigator train here. Slip on the ring, 1 and a white for an instant. Exile target creature you own, then return to the battlefield under your control. The ring tempts you. Again, not a bad one for the ring tempting you cards. A Rush to the Room for a red instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. If it's a goblin or orc, it also gains haste until end of turn. Weird card. Improvised Club, 1 and a red. Instant. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature. Improvised Club deals 4 damage to any target. I love this card. This card's basically fling, but you can use like tokens and stuff for it. So, Treason of Isengard. 2 and a blue for a sorcery. Put up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. Amass Orcs 2. So, if you will, it's a 3 mana 2/2 that puts an instant or sorcery on top of your library. This is not bad at all. This is actually quite good. I'm kind of on that. That's kind of where I'm at with this right now. I would probably take that. We're in the uncommons now. Shadowfax, Lord of Horses. 3 red and a white for a 4/4. Horses you control have haste. Whenever Shadowfax, Lord of Horses attacks, you may put a creature card from lesser power from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. This can actually be a pretty good card in draft. I don't like that it's gold. Being 2 color kind of slots you into 2 separate colors at once. So I'm kind of off that. I'm still Isengard here, but we're definitely thinking Book of Marzabal, 2 and a red for a Mass Orcs 1, Mass Orcs 2, and then creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain menace until end of turn. It's a little slow for me. The Grey Havens enters the battlefield. Scry 1. Tap to add a colorless. Tap to add 1 mana of any color among legendary creature cards in your graveyard. I'm off that card. It's not that good. Barad-dûr is our rare. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary creature. Add black. And for XX black, Amass Orcs X, activate only if a creature died this turn. This card is not good. We didn't open a very good pack here. This is just a land and a token. So my real choices are pretty much Shadowfax. I'm not taking these 2. Barad-dûr, I'm not taking either. Treason of Isengard, Improvised Club. There's a lot of red in this pack. So I'd probably be off of Improvised Club and Shadowfax. There's not a lot of blue in the pack. I would probably take Treason of Isengard, honestly. Yeah. Probably take Treason of Isengard. That was a very bad pack for draft. Let's try one more. All right. Try and read through these real quick. Surith Ungol Patrol. I'm kind of off that. It's a little slow. Shower of Arrows. This is a sideboard card, not something you really want to play in main decks now. Knights of Dol Amroth. Whenever you draw your second card each turn. And the draw 2 cards deck, that's not terrible. That's a white-blue deck. But not really something I'm excited to first pick. Protector Gondor. Enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human creature token. I don't hate that. Like, that's actually a pretty good card. 4 mana for a 3/3 and a 1/1. Soothing of Smeagol. Yeah. That's a tempo card, so I don't hate it. Inherited Envelope. I'm off 3 mana rocks. They're not that great. Escape from Ornthok. This is a combat trick that I'm not that fond of. Lorien Revealed. Okay, this one I'm on. Draw 3 cards for 5 mana at sorcery speed. But it also has Island Cycling for 1. This is actually a pretty good card. I would consider this over pretty much anything else in the pack so far. The Lancer, I'm not interested in. Stew the Conies is a fight card. Or no, it's a bite card. It's not bad. In the food deck, it's pretty good, actually. Lost to Legend is our first uncommon. This is actually something I'm considering taking, because there is just random. There's a lot of legendaries in the set. There's also the Ring Bearer. It becomes legendary, so. Oh, but here we go. Frodo Baggins. This is one that I would take to get into the white-green deck. This is a good card. 1/3 for white and a green. Whenever Frodo Baggins or another legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, the ring tempts you. As long as Frodo is your ring bearer, it must be blocked to Fable. So I like that a lot. A Mithril Coat is our rare. Oh, we've got a foil. Flash, indestructible. When Mithril Coat enters the battlefield, attached to target legendary creature control, equipped creature has indestructible. I think I'm just taking the Mithril Coat. It keeps us open. It's kind of funny that these two are in the same pack. And then our rare foil basic. And the exact same basic. I'm taking the Mithril Coat. Like, Mithril Coat seems pretty good. The equip is not great, but being able to throw this on like Frodo Baggins, it is being the ring bearer, make him indestructible. That's a pretty good ability for that. And then again, there's your ring bearer can become indestructible this way. So if you got something, you know, big that they, you know, have to block or something along those lines, it's pretty good. Let's sort these away like we're supposed to. Frodo goes up here. All right, last pack. And I want to thank you all for joining me for this stream today. Again, I didn't really announce it ahead of time, but I'm going to probably try and do a little more streams on YouTube possibly. So kind of keep an eye out for that. I do stream on Twitch a lot more. But again, with the way Twitch has been acting lately, I kind of don't want to do Twitch too much more. So my Twitch is here, but it's also ChuckAW1977 on Twitch. Mordor True Bucket, I'm on it. Let's do it. Errand Rider of Gondor. Markwood Spider's not terrible. Right now I'm on Mordor Trebuchet. Everything else is kind of meh. The Spider's not bad. I would consider it. Orcish Medicine. That's kind of a cool card. Battle Scarred Goblin? No, I'm not on that. Fire of Ornthok? No, not really looking for a Stone Rain type effect. Gimli's Fury. Not really on that one. Alright, we've got our first uncommon here. Celeborn the Wise. Whenever you attack with one or more elves, scry 1. This is actually a really good card for the elf deck. Whenever you scry, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn for each card looked at while scrying this way. I like Celeborn a lot. Rise of the Witch King is cool in like a reanimator type deck. So you cycle one of the cyclers that get to land, and then you can reanimate it. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Bitter Downfall. This is just a good removal spell. 4 mana instant. It costs 3 less to cast if it targets a creature that was dealt damage this turn, which don't ever consider that when looking at this card. Destroy target creature's controller, loses 2 life. So 4 mana, kill a thing at instant speed. Seems pretty good. And then our rare. Well, this is an easy pickup here. We take Saruman. Saruman is 3 white, blue, and a black for 5/4. It has ward, discard an enchantment, instant or sorcery card. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, each opponent mills 2 cards. When one or more cards are milled this way, exile target enchantment, instant or sorcery card with equal or less of mana value than that spell from an opponent's graveyard. Copy the exiled card. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. That card's fantastic. And then a swamp and a human soldier token. So yeah, we take Saruman. Also, great last card for us. It's another mythic. That means we get to 6 mythics in our set, in our box. So that's pretty good. Old Trebuchet didn't get there. All right. So the last thing we got here is our box topper. Also, neat little card here with the artwork. And then the draft archetypes. Which we don't need those. All right, let's see what's in the box topper. Where's the notch at? There it is. All right. Ours is a 3 mana. Oh, it's Cloudstone Curio, or Elisar the Elf Stone. So whenever a non-artifact permanent enters the battlefield under your control, you may return another permanent you control that shares a permanent type with it to its owner's hand. So it bounces one of your things back to hand. You may. So that's kind of cool. This hasn't had a reprint since it was Cloudstone Curio hasn't had a reprint since it was first printed. So this is a good open. This is very good. Well, listen, I appreciate you all stopping by, watching this on YouTube. Like I said, my plan is to try and do a little bit more on YouTube with streaming. So I might be doing some games or something like that on here. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, don't forget to be awesome. Bye, guys.